Oh my god, it actually worked.
What?
I changed my server to East Coast Chicago, and I've connected. I am now live once again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Mehcast. The
Back
show,
to the
the show
the
will go
show.
on regardless of what YouTube wants us to do, or restream in this case, because restream were being fucking idiots with me.
Okay, so where were you?
Okay, so I was in the middle of explaining how so Monica and Carol apparently are kind of uncomfortable with talking to each other, and they have this little thing where they're like, oh, well, is one of them there? Or oh, things are not that great between us.
Well,
That kind of
gee,
thing.
it's almost like, well, gee, Carol, it's almost like maybe you should have come back to visit her mother.
Yeah, well, oh,
Mother?
she did. She actually did. There's a flashback sequence dedicated to that. There's also a flashback sequence
Oh,
dedicated
so she's
to
not as selfish as fucking Alice from Resident Evil.
no. There's also a flashback sequence dedicated to recapping the entirety of Captain Marvel for us.
Why?
Well, like I said, apparently it's because they thought that we hadn't seen the billion-dollar film that was released immediately between Endgame of Infinity War and Endgame.
Well, not immediately. It was released between Ant-Man and the Wasp and Endgame.
Oh yeah, but semantics. It was released in that window. So, so they see the glowing space doors leaking out crazy
Oh,
ass
thank
energy
God.
shit and decide, oh
Let's
mate,
go investigate it.
oh mate, that thing looks like it might be dangerous. I think I'ma touch it. Oh yeah. Can't possibly have nothing go wrong there, mate.
Why do you sound like Crocodile Dundee?
I'm trying to sound like Crocodile Dundee. I'm trying to sound like the Crocodile Hunter. But,
You're
same continent.
okay.
Anyways, so they go and touch this thing, and this entangles them, which leads to the thing that happened at the end of the Miss Marvel series, where Captain Marvel shows up out of nowhere and switches places with Miss Marvel. It's not like they're not like switching bodies. They're just switching where they are. Like, so they switch places whenever they use their powers at the same time, even though that's not exactly consistent. But it does lead to some really cool shit that the film actually makes use of. So, it's kind of alright in some regards and not alright in others. Like I said, this movie is a perfect 5 out of 10 because for everything it does right, it does something equally terrible. And so, yeah, that entangles up the powers of Carol, Monica, and
Kamala
Kamala. And that leads to them getting, getting
getting.
shit. Yeah, shit getting fucked up.
I am doing
And,
my best to avoid saying certain things because Kamala is still a teenager.
yes. So, yeah, so the shit gets fucked up. They start switching
Carol and
places.
Monica are free. Carol and Monica are free game though.
So, uh, Monica winds up where Carol was. Carol winds up where Monica was. Sorry, no. Monica winds up where Carol was. Carol winds up where Kamala was, and Kamala winds up where Monica was, and and transports inside of Monica's spacesuit that she was using to spacewalk, and runs into the Saber runs into the Saber viewing screen in front of Nick Fury, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's Nick Fury! Is this an Avengers test?" And like, she's not.
And
She's
Nick Fury is like,
Nick Fury is like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like he's like motherfucker. So yeah, he's staring motherfuckerly at the shit that's going on here, as one would be right to do, and is trying to figure out how the hell this happened. Meanwhile, Miss Marvel
meanwhile,
is more focused on the fact that she's seeing Nick Fury than the preservation of her own life. So that's great. Like she doesn't understand the gravity of the situation at all, and she doesn't pay any attention to what am I supposed to be doing? There we go. And she doesn't pay any attention to the fact that her life is possibly in danger, although considering the fact that everybody seems to be able to survive the vacuum of space in this movie, I'm not really sure why Monica had the suit on in the first place, especially since she has to phase through it to shoot, to fire her lasers. She's firing her lasers, and yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So they switch places, and that leads to the major conflict of the film, and them trying to figure out how this stuff works. Which also leads to a thing I've got to bring up. So they remember how Captain Marvel's powers in the last one, the binary powers were uh they were given to her by the Tesseract.
yeah.
Um so she needs to absorb energy from the sun now.
Which is dumb.
That's not the only thing they took from Superman.
Besides the entirety of Icarus's character.
Oh no, so so let's talk about that for a second here. So, yeah, so the score. The score is quite clearly the score has quite clearly been temped out using bits of the Man of Steel score by Hans Zimmer.
Because of course it is.
Also clearly having been temped out using bits of the not only the Man of Steel score, but also Batman v Superman and John Williams' Star Wars score. Like I can hear A Beautiful Lie in this. I can hear her I can hear her Their War Here. I can hear her Flight. I can hear her all of this shit. Like the score is okay, but it's so obviously taken the from those other sources that it's like did you think I wouldn't notice, guys? Like, and I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that that they actually wound up using the original Captain Marvel theme. Not that anybody remembers the original Captain Marvel theme. It's just that that it's just that that theme never shows up in this movie that I can remember. And like the the main theme of the film is called Higher, Further, Faster, Together. Now, if you don't know, Higher, Further, Faster is the tagline for the first movie, but more than being the tagline for the first movie, it's also a catchphrase of the character of Captain Marvel from the Kelly Sue DeConnick era that these comics are based that these movies have been kind of based on. The Kelly Sue DeConnick era of Captain Marvel being the everybody's least favorite. Like, people will generally people who are fans of Captain Marvel will generally say that the Kelly Sue DeConnick era is shit, and with good reason. Yes, I want to reset. So, but it's also a line that was cut from the previous film. Like, there's a bunch of scenes where Monica, not Monica, Monica's mom.
Oh, great.
There's a bunch of scenes where Monica's mom and Captain Marvel will say higher, further, faster, or to each other a bunch, and that's like not in the film, you know? Like, they... Okay. Yeah, that's not in the movie, really. Like,
Huh.
it's... They... They have... Oh, that's... Is that... No, it can't be how I do that. Oh. There we go. Yeah. But it's not a line that's really featured that prominently in the film. And, they reference it so much in this movie that I wonder if Nia DaCosta, the director, and the writers for this movie, because she also wrote the film, were given a finished copy of Captain Marvel, well, the previous film, or if they were just given in, like, a screenplay, or if they were given, like, a rough cut. Because, like, this is the most heavily referenced a deleted scene is outside of the the famous one that Joss Whedon referenced from the Incredible Hulk, you know?
Incredibly Hulk. Like the purple shorts and everything, and
No,
don't make me angry.
I was talking more about the alternate opening for the film where
Where
Bruce put a
Bruce
gun
tried
in
to
his
shoot
mouth.
himself.
Yeah.
Don't remember seeing. I don't think I have seen that.
Yeah, that's the alternate opening of the film. If you thought that was a little bit strange that he'd reference that because it seems kind of incongruous with the rest of the Incredible Hulk as a whole, that's because it's actually an alternate scene from the movie, like a
Yeesh.
deleted scene. And so it actually does it, like, that scene is, I believe it's present in Edward Norton's original screenplay for the movie. And it was intended to be in the original version of the film, but it featured Captain America, like, it featured Captain America's shield, like
Okay.
as in like he
How did they grab it?
as in like Bruce Banner fled to the the middle of the Antarctic, or sorry, the middle of the Arctic, and basically dug up Captain America there, or by accident when the Hulk spat out the bullet. But that because Captain America was inside the Valkyrie, they couldn't really do that. So they said, yeah, we'll just hold off on that rather than, I don't know, cutting the split second before the shield showed up.
Still kind
Yeah,
of odd, ain't it?
So the two of them get involved in this. The three of them get involved in this shit, and You'd think that this is what tips black female Donald Trump off to, Miss Marvel having the other bracelet. It's not.
No.
They don't... Yeah, they meet several times, and she doesn't realize it.
And she's just stupid.
Stupid.
Okay, Kevin, you're completely right. Because later on in the movie, she makes a deal with the rest of the Marvels. She makes a deal with like, the Marvels because they're insistent on calling this team the Marvels. That will give her everything she wants, and all she has to do is stop killing everybody. And then she's
Why?
like... And then she says, is like, oh, I'm just gonna take what I want now. Because she's a fucking idiot.
More like a fucking asshole.
But then again, you know, they also... Excuse me. They were also idiots to believe her in the first place, so, you know. What the thing is, they do a lot of really interesting things. Like, they have some nice, really nice cinematography in this film, especially when they start, like, switching positions and they start, like, learning how to use